You may or may not know that the Western and Japanese versions of Bionic Commando actually use different character sprites and life icons. As you can see in this Western release, the character looks more badass, whereas in the Japanese release, known as Top Secret, he's a lot cuter looking, as are the life icons. Also, the sign now says caution instead of warning. Anyway, Bionic Commando is a side-scrolling platformer, much like many side-scrolling platformers of the day, but with one important difference. The player cannot jump. You are required to use the extended bionic arm in order to travel. This makes the gameplay experience totally different to other games at the time. It could also be the reason why this game wasn't very successful when it first appeared. All the home computer ports of Bionic Commando are pretty poor in one way or another. However, this PC version is probably one of the worst. The other home computer ports were developed by UK-based Software Creations. However, I'm not sure who developed this PC version. Problems the game faces are unresponsive controls, awful music, and pretty ugly graphics. This could have been so much better. But hey, at least it uses 2 separate fire buttons. This Amiga version looks and sounds pretty good, but that's where the good points end. For some reason, the developers thought it would be a good idea to have enemies constantly falling from the sky. Why on earth they did this, I don't know. It makes the game far too difficult. The poor scrolling doesn't help either. Many a time you'll want to swing to another area, but it's not on screen. You need to use the bionic arms to scroll the screen. So annoying when you have a million enemies falling on you. Like the Amiga version, this ST port is very pleasing to the eye. more so than the Amiga in my opinion, thanks to the less vibrant colours. The game also plays slightly faster too, but still suffers from poor control, enemies constantly falling from the sky and choppy scrolling. The ZX Spectrum port isn't too bad as far as playability is concerned. It also looks okay and has music. Unfortunately, it still has problems with scrolling like the 16-bit home computer ports. Still, it is more fun to play than those versions. Yet again another crappy Spectrum port for Amstrad CPC owners. The colour management is better on the CPC version, however the game is almost silent, now making it even less appealing than it already is. This version is also pretty easy due to the lack of enemies on screen. For some reason there are two versions of Bionic Commando for the C64. Here we have the US version which seems to follow the art style of the Amiga release, however it plays so bad. The controls are totally broken, making this a very awkward version to play. here we go with the PAL release. As you can see, this version looks awful compared to the US release. However, it does sound fantastic thanks to Tim Follon's great use of the SID sound chip. But that's not the only reason why this is the best home port of Bionic Commando out there. This is the best version because it actually plays well. The controls are responsive unlike all the other versions, and the difficulty balance is just right as well. And here's something interesting, this game actually uses two separate fire buttons, one for shoot and another for the bionic arm.